party?
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is a great song.
Lineup for the Elmira Enforcers tonight at defense, number 9, Dale Dion, number 24, Jacob Walter. Forward to number 19.
Well, a good afternoon / evening to you, depending on where you're tuning in from. We're here for another round of Danville Dashers hockey on the Danville Dashers Broadcast Network, taking on Elmira tonight here at the David S. Palmer Arena. I'll be delivering your play-by-play this evening. Nate Williamson with me, my friend Dennis Michelson, providing a little bit of color for your life. Dennis, how you doing tonight?
Doing real good, enjoying country night here at the David S. Palmer Arena. And so glad to have Elmira Papa in town for country night.
I don't know if they'll say the same after hearing that accent, Dennis. I don't know. You might have. Oh, our numbers are dropping. I'm seeing people leaving. Oh, we're at 0.
Yeah, that does it every time. I promise you guys, I'll try to keep the country goofiness down to a minimum, but a lot of fun out here at the David S. Palmer Arena. I love these theme nights, Nate. So do the fans. A lot of folks playing along and having a good time.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's a lot of fun tonight, sponsored by the Vermilion County Farm Bureau and also the Vermilion County Fair, as well as B&J Music. A lot of good stuff going on tonight. Country night, as you said, at the David S. Palmer Arena, and taking on a team that Danville and Danville fans very familiar with since the inception of the league, basically. Elmira has had a team in one form or another. This one, the Enforcers, and man, they've been pretty successful in their tenure. Last year, I can think of a handful of games where they gave the Dashers at least a fit, if not a whooping sometimes here, whether it was physical or with goals. This is a team that likes to play physically, and also a homecoming / reunion of sorts for one of the Danville Dashers' very own, Mitch Atkins, coming from the Elmira Enforcers earlier this season in a trade. What a trade it's been. Atkins on the season, impressing in his 24 games, 21 points, 9 goals, 12 assists, and one of the better plus minuses on the team. He's skating well, especially recently, coming off a 5-point game last weekend that included a hat trick and 2 assists that also set up his fellow teammate Tyler Quintos for a hat trick of his own. Dennis, how important is it to ride that momentum coming into a big game against a team that historically has been one of your biggest rivals?
Oh, it's big time important because this is a tough Elmira club. They're off to a good start this year. And if you look at their statistics, they're actually very close to the statistics for Danville as far as goals scored, goals given up, goal differential. You know, you're mentioning Tyler Quintos and Mitch Atkins getting the hat tricks the last game. We saw him here last Saturday night. Here's the thing about Coach Ray Tremblay's team. There's not a single player on this team that isn't also great in the defensive end. Have you noticed that? He's really got good two-way players on the Danville Dashers this year, and that's usually the sign of a real strong hockey club.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of his idea and his vision coming into the team. I still remember that introductory press conference. He came in and basically just spilled out his whole plan to season ticket holders, to fans and media. I mean, obviously, I was there. It was a lot of fun. A very good time, and obviously Ray Tremblay coming out, he said, I mean business, and when I say I mean business, I'm going to show you, and the guys are showing us that on the ice right now, sitting in second place in the Western Division of the FPHL, of course, only behind the Carolina Thunderbirds, who suffered a couple of losses last weekend to the Danbury Hat-Tricks, but other than that, they have been almost untouchable on the young season, still fairly young season. They've amassed a record here in Danville of 20-11-1-3. In their home split, they've played 17 home games, 11-4-1. Now, you talked about these teams being almost inseparable in terms of statistics and what they've done and what they will do. It is very true. On the penalty kill, just separated by 2%. Danville has the advantage of 85% on the penalty kill compared to Elmira's 83%, and even less than that on the power play. Danville scoring on 21% of their power plays, while Elmira scores on 22. And another thing in common here, and a team with very many similarities to the Dashers, is former Dashers on this team. Ahmed Mahfouz, the former Dashers captain, championship winner, as well as fellow championship winner Andrew Harrison, making his FPHL return for Elmira. He's been a journeyman, was drafted actually out of the Prospect League eventually at a young age, and man, he starred in his time with Danville. He'll return to the ice here in front of his former home crowd, this time wearing Elmira green.
Mafuz is closing in on 400 career games. He is the epitome of a Federal Prospects Hockey League veteran. A guy that you can always count on, and once again this year, in the top of his team scoring too. So another big season for Mafuz.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with you when they say Mafuz, a very typical FPHL player, kind of one of the last hangovers of an older generation of the FPHL. The all-time leader in goals, assists, games played, and penalty minutes for the FPHL. And once you watch him play, you'll understand all of those things. Sneaky, creative in a lot of ways, even offensive and defensive, and an absolute pest on the ice in the best of ways. He's the guy you want on your team, but do not want your team to play against a real Ryan Reeves out on the ice, to put it in former St. Louis Blues terms. Well, taking a look at tonight's starting lineup, for Elmira, they're going to run with Dale Dion pairing defensively with J.T. Walters. On the offensive side of things, they're going to have Brandon Tucker out there with Mafuz, the captain, as well as Hudson Michaelis at the center spot here. Mafuz will be playing in goal tonight. Troy Passingham for Elmira. Now on the Danville side of the ice, Jesse Gordichuk starting in goal for the Dashers, number 31 here. Artem Efimov Barakov going to get the start at left wing. Jesse Nair at the right wing spot with Mitch Atkins at center, and Sam Turner on the left D, paired with his fellow partner here for some time now, a couple of weekends, Seth Ensor, a man from Texas, getting the start on Country Night here at the David S. Palmer Arena.
A good matchup there on defense. They've really, their games have really worked well together, and that's the big key to a good defensive pairing.
And as we wait the start here, we're going to get a puck drop and a national anthem. First up, the national anthem. Kurt Kaiser going to be bringing that to you. We're going to take a momentary pause as we hear your nation's national anthem, or if you're in Canada, your neighbor's national anthem. Hey.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rent the air, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The United States National Anthem brought to you by Mr. Kurt Kaiser here on Country Night at the David S. Palmer Arena, and we are almost ready for some Danville Dashers hockey action in the Federal Prospects Hockey League. First up, we're going to get a ceremonial puck drop here from the Vermilion County Farm Bureau. It's like Mary Ellen and Tom Fricky from the Farm Bureau. A good friend of mine, Tom. Talk to him at least once a week here, thanks to my other occupation. And after that, we'll have the Queen from the Vermilion County Fair. Another good friend of mine, Dennis, Miss Cassie Parker from Westville. We've been friends. We go way back. She used to teach me how to play volleyball.
Wow.
And taking the puck drop over there, longtime associates. No comment on the relationship between the two. I assume friends. I cannot confirm for you. Ahmed Mafuz and Justin Browson. Now, Dennis, you're Danville. You're riding a couple of big wins. A come-from-behind win last Friday night and an absolute demolition of the Delaware Thunder that featured a lot of familiar faces on Saturday. how important is it, and what do you learn from having to fight back from behind against a team that hasn't quite been there all season, coming against a team that's sitting in third of a very tightly contested Eastern Division in the FPHL?
Yeah, last weekend, it was like the tale of two Dashers teams. Friday night, we saw them come out real sluggish. Saturday night, they came out with a lot of energy. I was down by the ice before both games. I knew Friday was going to be a problem. Saturday, a whole different energy. Tonight, before the game and before they took the ice, they had the same energy they had last Saturday night. I think we're in for a show.
And we await the puck drop at the center circle. Michalis going to be taking it here for Elmira. Going up against, looks like number 8, Mitch Atkins, taking the face-off here, fresh off of a hat-trick performance, and Danville wins it out. They're coming down the left-hand side. Nair with an early shot that goes up into the net. And quick start here for the offensive end for Danville. Jesse Nair probably surprised at how much open space he found himself in there, looking straight down the goal of Troy Passingham. He fired it about 3 Passinghams tall of the goal. Elmira player loses a stick there on the other end of that. That was number 27, Hudson Michalis, as Danville tries to keep it in the zone. Turner going to poke it back in. It's picked up by Mafuz. Fought for along the boards here. Barakov ends up losing it out. It comes all the way back to Sam Turner. Mafuz in pursuit as Danville plays it through the center. Now coming the other way is Jesse Nair. Nair gets past one, is tangled up a little bit, and is going to lose it here along the boards, continuing to fight for it with the Elmira defenseman. On that play was number 9, Dale Dion. Now coming down the center here is Elmira. The little drop off to the backwards defenseman, and this one's going to be sent along the boards and wrapped around. First one to it here is Hudson Michalis of shot on goal. Doesn't quite get as far as Jesse Gordichuk. Patrick Zalak coming down the left-hand side here. 1-on-3, tries to bring it past backwards. Instead, off the boards to Quintos. Quintos over to Hine. Hine tries a backhand. He ends up with it somehow. A shot from the right is wide. That one wraps back around to Nair, or Troy Murray on it, actually. A nice interception there by number 27, Hudson Michalis. He's putting in a long shift here in the first shift of the night as Elmira working their way down the left-hand side. Now he comes off for a change.
Little contrast between the teams. Quick shift change for the Dashers, but as you said, Elmira using that starting line.
That one gonna come back for an icing after all. Thought it was waved off there for a second. Instead, comes off the stick of Tyler Quintos and back down the other end of the ice. That'll be an icing. We'll see it come back to the right of Jesse Gordichuk. Back and forth action here at the David S. Palmer Arena from the jump basically already. Plenty of offensive opportunities for Danville. Probably seen the best offensive opportunity of all right off the face-off win. This one passed all the way back here to number 57, Cameron Yarwood. He'll play a big role in this weekend series against Danville. On right from the right side. Bar down and out. Elmira strikes first.
Rare occasion where you see Jesse Gordichuk beat on a first shot. He goes top shelf and cashes in. It's 1-0 Elmira.
And you can't ignore the presence of Tyler Urich, last year's leading goal scorer in the FPHL, as he makes his presence known early and often here, even getting some plaudits from Troy Passingham coming out to shake hands up. And Danville down early here in the first by a score of 1-0.
Tyler's 33rd goal of the season. Pretty impressive.
He is an impressive player, does very well, was traded for from an incredible amount of assets from Watertown to this Elmira team, although a lot of people argued when the trade happened that Elmira had fleeced Watertown in that deal. And you know, after seeing him play these last couple of years, I'm going to have to agree with that one. A heads-up trade there by Elmira. It'll be interesting to see him play tonight. We'll see if that's the last time he's on the score sheet. One would think probably not, as this one tangled up behind the Elmira goal. Fighting for it there was Browsen, and he was tangled up with Gino Mini. Instead, it comes back all the way to the Danville defenseman, Brad Denny, on it. Out to Tesserero, who fakes his way past one, loses it up, and it comes out to Browsen, who fires one down the right-hand side. Instead, going to be touched up as Levi Armstrong unable to get a stick on it. Brought back behind the Elmira goal here. Now coming the other way with it is Dale Dion, coming down the left wing. And flubs on one, turnover to Danville. Danville could have an opportunity here, coming down the right-hand side. Pass across the net, it's just wide right, wrapped around. Passingham was on top of it in a hurry on that second attempt. Just took that weird Danville bounce off the back boards and came back out. Passingham does nicely to get to his left-hand side and wrap it up.
Great 2-on-1 opportunity for the Dashers after the flub at center ice. but great pass and just missed to the far side of the post.
And that's one you got to want back if you're Danville here on the early goings. Had a chance to tie it up with 7:18 left on the clock. That one runs in front of Passingham. He sticks it out nicely. It comes all the way out to Hudson Michaelis and wrapped around the boards. It's going to get as far as Brandon Tucker, who's going to look for a pass. Finding no one, elects to drop it back. Number 24, JT Walters on it now. Over to number 57, Yarwood again. Yarwood a stretch pass to Mafuz coming down the right-hand side. Offside waved off there. A nice pass open on the right. Jesse Gordachuk, what a save. Does great to slide to his right and rob a goal there. For that was number 19, Ahmed Mafuz, ending up on it eventually. Elmira with another opportunity here in front of net. Mafuz in. Oh, what a save. Jesse Gordachuk with the chest.
Not sure how he got a piece of that one. He was down and out. Elmira pouring the offensive effort on here early going in the first period. But once again, Jesse Gordachuk with a big stop to keep it at just 1-0 Elmira.
And Hudson Michaelis was in there, and it looked like he was going to score, but Gordachuk said no, slammed that door shut. A long shot from Mafuz there, tied up to Mark Essery in front of net. The Dashers plenty familiar with what he can do on the season. Seen him a few times before being traded to Elmira. Nick Gullo on it behind net now. Over to Murray. Murray taken off the puck there by Essery. Essery now on the right, fires one across. That kept in. A slap shot wide left of the goal for Elmira as they are really putting it on now. Mark Essery just doing just enough to throw off the Danville defense and keep that one in. Leads to a really promising opportunity there. That one picked up by Gordachuk. Over to Murray. Oh, an empty opportunity there. A sloppy takeaway. A shot from the right-hand side is patted away by Gordachuk. As Gordachuk being forced to work early and often here in the early goings. 15:56 left to go in the first period. That one off the boards to pretty much no one as Elmira going to come the other way with it once again. Patted down by Brendan Hussey to the right-hand side. Comes as far as Gordachuk. Played behind the net. Danville just trying to do whatever they can to get it out of the defensive zone here as Gullo has it. That one tipped up there by number 14, Zach Pease. Floated dangerously back in front of the net here. All the way back to the Elmira defense. It's going to be picked up by Nick Gullo. Pass back to Troy Murray. Murray out to Browsen in the front. Browsen past one, does a nice job getting past two, firing one to the right-hand side. A shot off the blocker of Troy Passingham. Browsen was hunting that rebound like a hawk, but instead it's Elmira coming the other way. It's turned over to Danville again. Browsen trying to link up with a forward there. That was Levi Armstrong, but unable to do so. As this one flipped back by the Elmira defense. Going to come all the way back to Jesse Gordachuk.
Dangerous play.
Actually tripped up Brad Denny on that one, and it's passed out to the front right here. Danville trying to do whatever they can. Can't seem to get any sustained attacking momentum here as Tesserero just has to hike that one back down towards Passingham as Danville gets full-scale line changes here.
Here comes the cavalry.
Brad Denny and Brett Menton, the defensive pairing out there for Danville now. Ahmed Mafuz out at the red line. Hawking looking for an outlet pass here, and he is dangerous, Dennis. And as such, that pass was touched up there by number 77, Brandon Tucker on the forward spot. Brought back around by Danville. Knocked out of the zone here. Is trying to get to it was Mitch Atkins. Trying to make a hustle play. Was the hustler player of the week. Instead, it's Nair bringing it down. He takes a stick up high. And this one comes back around the net. Trying to wrap it in around off the back of the net here. Is Danville unable to hold on to the puck. Elmira, you can see the plethora of green jerseys back there on the defensive effort, and Mafuz brings it down the center. This one out to the right-hand side. If Mafuz trying to link up, on the other end of that was Brandon Tucker trying to find him. Instead, Danville come the other way with it. A 2-on-4 here for Danville coming down the right-hand side, just looking for a pass. It's elected to be sent down the boards to Turner. Turner throws it back behind here. Loses it up there. It's number 27, Hudson Michaelis on the other side of it, and he's going to bring it down the left-hand side. Over to the right-hand side here, he's got Tucker. Tucker through, and a shot to the right is blocked away by Gordachuk. Danville unable to really do a whole lot, but this could be the opportunity they've been waiting for. Down the right-hand side here, past one. Oh, what a goal that would have been if it had gone through. Atkins had a beauty of a hesitation, and instead it's coming back to Mafuz, who's going to try and do the same. Putting in the work on 3 Dashers. He hits the ice hard. Fred Hine fighting for it here along the Elmira bench, and instead Elmira going to come the other way with it through Essery. Essery put hard into the boards by Seth Ensor. The big man from Texas looking to show out on country night here at the David S. Palmer Arena. See the size of that belt buckle earlier, Dennis? It was a sight. Fred Hine back to Zalak. Zalak flubs on a shot, ends up getting the pass off to Hine. Back around the boards here to Turner. Turner out there with Logan Hoggood. Hine a shot, doesn't get as far as Passingham. Back to Fred Hine along the boards here. This one going to wrap around. Looks like it's going to end up with Mark Essery. The speedster blows a skate, but hangs on to the puck as he's coming down the left-hand side. The pass off to number 91, Glenn Patterson. He makes his first foray up the left-hand side. And Elmira back on defense with it now. This one played between Kyle Stevens and co. Is this one thrown far down the ice? No icing there. Is that one picked up by Danville. Murray takes a hit after grabbing it. Come the other way with it, Danville. They have a 3-on-2 if they work hard. That shot rebounded up over the netting, almost into the Bud Light skybox and down into the crowd, as we're going to have a face-off here on the offensive end for Danville.
Elmira's been doing a lot of heavy pressing in the Danville Dashers defensive end, but Danville's starting to make those long stretch passes, get those odd man breaks going.
Elmira wins the face-off and brings it down here through the back, waiting behind the goal of Passingham. Down the right-hand side, coming the other way with it, number 14, Zach Pease. Pease tries to get past one, dealt with nicely by Troy Murray and sent back down the ice to number 9, Dale Dion. Thrown up the middle, coming the other way with it, Dimitro Babenko. Babenko pass one, trying to wrap it around to two, elects to pass back to the defense. Out here to Gino Mini, who fires a shot, doesn't quite get as far as Gordichuk before it's blocked up. Armstrong trying to fight for this one, might end up with it after all odds, fighting off two Elmira defensemen there. That was a weird play as someone seemed to lose the puck on that Elmira squad. Instead, bounces harmlessly down to the Danville defense after wrapping around. A hard pass there off the stick of Brad Denny, hits the foot of Barakov and comes back down. Oh, Atkins almost got a stick on that one. Instead, it comes out to the right to Ahmed Mahfouz. Mahfouz waits, looking for a pass. That one off the skate of Jesse Nair and into the pads of Jesse Gordichuk.
That was a dangerous deflection because that puck elevating, heading for the top shelf on the far side of the goal. And sometimes the goaltenders kind of get a little lazy at that point, but Jesse Gordichuk right on the play to make the stop.
Face off to the left of Gordichuk, won by Elmira and pushed back to Mahfouz, who's forced out of the blue zone. Danville trying to come the other way with it. Denny passes it over to Atkins. Atkins comes through the middle, tries to get past one, dumps it off to the right-hand side. Barakov would have had a nice opportunity there. Couldn't hold on to it. Now coming down the left-hand side, Elmira. Scratched pass there as that one comes back to Danville. A sloppy turnover there in the midsection of the ice. Now played back to Menton as Menton turns it over on the side of his own ice. Mahfouz wraps around, looks for his options, and passes back to number 14, Zach Pease. Coming down the right-hand side now, Elmira. Trying to find a drop-off pass there. Instead finds Mitch Atkins. He tries to link up with his left winger. Instead, it comes back to the blue line, and we're going to have an offside here. That's just a combination of bad passes.
A lot of sloppy play there. Good ideas for passes, but wasn't so much good defense as it was just missing the target that led to so many turnovers in that exchange.
Face off here in the neutral zone as this one comes back down the right-hand side with Danville. On it now, Nair. Nair going to try and fire one through. It's blocked up nicely by Elmira. Trying to find Mark Essery coming down the left-hand wing. They do. A nice pick screen there as Essery forced off the puck by Seth Ensor. Danville now trying to play it down the left-hand side. They'll have numbers if they move fast. It's through Fred Hine, and that was blown offside as it took a bounce off the boards.
Tyler Quintos just a hair offside there. Big opportunity for Danville. Almost had a good 3-on-2 break, and it was looking promising.
Face-off here in the left side of your screen, and neutral ice is won by Patrick Zalak back to Turner. Turner over to Ensor. Ensor with a little bit of room elects to send it down off the stick of an Elmira player and down to Tyler Quintos. The puck going all kinds of ways so far tonight in the early goings. 9:56 left in the first period. Elmira going to run the other way with it through Urich. Urich with Essery to his left. Urich has space, tries to throw it across to Essery. Probably could have had a shot there of his own. Instead, the selflessness doesn't pay off. Usually it does, but not in that situation. This one dumped down. Is going to come all the way back for an icing.
One too many passes by Elmira on that exchange. Allowed for the Dashers defense to rally and steal the puck.
9:38 left to go here. We haven't had our media timeout yet. That seemed like a good chance to do it. Instead, we're going to come back down for a 1-0 scored face-off. Fred Hine tips one out. A great play to get open into space. A shot from the right-hand side doesn't make it as far as Passingham. Nicely blocked by the FPHL vet Andrew Harrison. Hine might have an opportunity with this one. Instead, a nice poke check there by Sage Citrone. Gets that one poked all the way back around to the zone behind Jesse Gordichuk. Logan Hawgood gets to it first. Slung up along the boards and kept in nicely by Elmira. A nice foot there to get this one on the run. On that was Zalak. He's got Armstrong to his right. Elects to find him. Armstrong from the right side. A pass, a shot. Oh, and a goal. What a beauty!
Oh, my goodness.
Levi Armstrong with a picture-perfect pass to the empty net on the left side. Looked like it might have been Justin Browsen on that one.
What have I told you, Nate? His game keeps developing. The tough guy being the playmaker and able to cash in with a great pass. That's maybe one of the best assists we've seen this year. No chance at all for the Elmira defense or their netminder.
I wasn't even sure it went in the net at first. Just based on how open that side of the net was, you would almost believe that he missed it, but it was slotted home nicely, and who'd better to do it than Justin Browsen, as this one is won by Elmira, and they're threatening back again really quickly here. JT Walters fires a shot, swallowed up by Gordichuk.
Double deflection on the way to the net. It hit a body of an Elmira player and a Dasher defenseman. Ended up right in the glove of Jesse Gordichuk. And now I think we are going to get our media timeout.
Well, what a time to do it. Danville evens the score at 1. 8:42 left to go here in the first period, and we are looking at a good game here already tonight in Danville as we head towards our first media timeout. Coaches addressing their side here, and referees getting a little bit of break, some water. And we are going to take some time to thank some of our good sponsors here as we're looking at some of the events that we do have coming up. There is a lot going on at the David S. Palmer Arena in the coming weeks. Tonight, obviously, the Vermilion County Farm Bureau and the Vermilion County Fair, two great sponsors, kind enough to lend their time to us here as we celebrate Country Night at the David S. Palmer Arena. Now, of course, coming up tomorrow night, we'll have Beach Party, sponsored by Reggae Wines. That is going to be a lot of fun, just let me tell you. That is always a lot of fun here, and Reggae Wines does so many great things with us, and we're very appreciative for their help in putting on some great events here. Well, coming up a little bit later, obviously we'll do our Chuck-a-Puck. If you're somehow in the arena and listening to this, you can buy those right here next to us now. We've kind of shifted things to spread out. We're in the North Terrace as we get back to the action here. I think that's about all the time we're going to have for sponsors, but a tight contest here early on in the first period with about half of the period done. 8:42 left to go in the first period here, and Danville has evened the score through a beautiful assist from Levi Armstrong and a solid finish from Justin Browsen. And how about that Tyler Urich bar down, hit the water bottle on top of the net earlier on in the first period. If we're going to see another goal tonight, you might not want to wrap out seeing Browsen and Urich score again. This one picked up behind the net by Dion is speedy, a deceptive speed. He gets this one around. Danville really hawking onto this one. They had 4 guys in the offensive zone. This one comes back to the defensive zone to Sam Turner, the two-way player here. And fought 4-1 as the stick's down on the ice here. Now Mafu's on it. Mafu's back to the middle here. He finds Michaelis. Michaelis almost had an opportunity here. Instead, going to wrap it back around and look to pick his pass down the right-hand side. Turnover through the legs of the referee. Hopefully he called nutmeg on that as this one comes the other way with Danville's Barakov. Dump back down here to Nair as Danville trying to recollect this one. It was turned over momentarily to Cameron Yarwood. Instead, brought back a dangerous passing operation there from Danville, almost pays off. Instead, comes all the way back out to Brad Denny. Denny finds Menton, his defensive partner. Menton brings it over the blue line. Danville on the attack again. This one played along the boards to Menton. Back across to Nair. Nair beats one, stick tied, ends up getting it back. Has to release his stick from a nice defensive play there, as that one could have been dangerous. Danville trying to keep this one in the offensive zone. They do momentarily, but it's turned over to Glenn Patterson, who eventually sees the puck land behind his own net to Cameron Yarwood. Yarwood trying to find Mafuz on the stretch, dealt with nicely by Brad Denny. Denny forced off of that one by Mark Essery. A Electing to bring this one back behind the net here is Elmira, waiting patiently with 7 minutes left to go here in the first period.
Nice
Turned over to
steal.
Fred Hine. Hine over to Quintos. Quintos with a little bit of space over, trying to find Hine again. Instead comes back to Brad Denny, who fires a slapper. Redirected just wide of the goal. Back at goal! Danville Dashers take the lead.
Great offensive attack by the Danville Dashers. Brad Denny keeping the puck in at the point and quickly firing. The rebound, finding the stick of a Dashers player and finding the back of the net, and the Dashers lead 2-1. I was not sure who cashed it on that one, Nate.
One thing for sure, going to come back to the face-off in the center circle here. Danville up by a score of 2-1. Just an update from the press box on the original goal there that scored and got Danville on the board. The assist went to Patrick Zalak and Levi Armstrong. And Zalak gets his second point of the night here with a goal. Fired on by Elmira. Gordichuk pads that one away. A big hit to the back there. Walters wants a call. He's getting none of it, though, as this one played behind Jesse Gordichuk to his right and wraps around the boards. Going to come all the way out to Andrew Harrison. Out in front of goals, shot from the left-hand side. Trying to bring it around is Harrison. Harrison scored a few goals in his FPHL career, many of them wearing Danville Dasher orange, funny enough. But it's Danville coming the other way with it now as they pick a pass. Interception there by Harrison. He's going to try and wrap this one around as he pulls back looking for a pass. A nice interception there from Harrison. Fought for along the boards. This one coming out to Justin Browsen. Wrapped around the right-hand side here over to Murray. Murray loses it up. That one was sticked up into the air by Ahmed Mahfouz and brought back down the other side of the ice by Elmira. Mahfouz remains out, a little bit of a line change for Elmira. He plays a lot of minutes for this team, and it's wrapped around the back of the net here. Come the other way with it, it's going to be playing through the left-hand side through Mitch Atkins. Atkins on the right finds a space, but instead it's redirected up into the netting, out of play. We're going to have a face-off here to the left of Troy Passingham.
Dashers forwards doing a really, really good job of reading the play in their defensive end and helping their defensemen out, and not only trying to clear the puck, but trying to get an offensive attack going right away.
This one out to the back, going to be shot in behind the goal here by Danville, trying to find something. A body hits the floor there to the left of the goal. This one passed out on the right-hand side. Some nice defensive play there, trying to make the play was Hudson Michaelis as he forces Patrick Zalak off the puck there. This one worked around all the way to Brandon Tucker. Tucker on it now, looking to pick a pass forward, but Danville really swallowing the lanes. Doesn't matter for Mahfouz, though, as he was all over that one with a nice attempt that was broken up by what appeared to be a high stick. Instead, a no call, and we're going to play it from behind the net of Jesse Gordichuk. This one comes out to number 57, Cameron Yarwood, who throws it down. Elmira going to get a shift change here. Oh, a nice play there by Brandon Tucker. Wins it back for Elmira. He's fighting it along the boards with Quintos. Quintos wins out, and he's coming the other way. Danville could have numbers if they move fast. Instead, Jesse Nayer comes in for a shift change. That one passed to no one, and Elmira going to have open space to run through Tucker. Tucker on the left-hand side here. He's tripped up by Brad Denny.
Nice
Denny ends up with the puck, and a nice defensive play there. Now coming the other way with it as J.T. Walters ends up with it in his defensive zone. That one thrown down by Tucker behind Gordichuk, who plays it over to Brett Menton.
Oh, gave it up.
Mark Essery with a dangerous opportunity there. Instead, turned over, and he wins it right back. A nice hustle play there by Essery as he fires that one over to Walters, who's unable to keep it in. Walters now back skates, looking for a pass, and finds one. He's going to throw it over to Kyle Stevens. Stevens to Essery, turned over to Zelak. Now coming the other way with it is Fred Hine. Hine throws that one up, and Passingham easily gloves it away, gets it out of his glove just in time before it being blown frozen. And Elmira has an opportunity down the left-hand side. Essery with it here, a shot from outside, swallowed up on the shoulder of Jesse Gordichuk.
Jesse Gordichuk cradling that puck to his chest like a little baby, making sure it doesn't get out of his reach. But Brett Menton made a real big mistake behind his own net there, Nate. Almost cost the Dashers the equalizer.
Jesse Gordichuk getting a little bit of an explanation there as we're ready for a face-off here. Won by Elmira and played back to the left D. Right D, Dion with it now. Dion skates around, fires one in on Gordichuk, glove save. Saw it all the way through, but not a bad opportunity there. You never know, as we've seen already tonight, the rebounds can be unpredictable on this ice, and you never know when you're going to find yourself with open net. Dion trying to make it happen from the right D spot. That one blocked up. That shot came off the stick of Andrew Harrison. On the defense was AJ Tesserero. Elmira with some sustained puck possession now. Pulled back across the blue line here as Elmira looks to work from behind net. A nice play there by Babenko, keeps it in. That one passed over to Pease, who tries to find Babenko. Instead, it comes back to Murray. Danville with it now. Coming down the left-hand side, a pass comes out to Justin Browsen, and foot save, trying to grab it. Almost loses it up. It's left there by Tesserero. Comes out through the center circle to Hawgood. He's fighting forward with Dimitro Babenko. Nick Gullo blows a tire. Almost slide tackles Babenko there on the far side of the ice, but instead Elmira going to work it through, and Pease fires this one down, and they're going to get a shift change. Danville looking to play on the run here, and on the other side of it was Gullo, who's going to get a shift change for Danville now.
Late in the first period, the ice getting a little choppy, and that puck doing the old hippity hop.
Brandon Tucker coming down the left-hand side here. Tucker with some space. A shot bouncing past the net of Gordichuk. And this one wrapped back around. Danville trying to clear, and they do. Michaelis passes it over to the left-hand side. He finds Minnie, who finds Gordichuk. Oh, some nice offensive pressure there. Elmira going to have an opportunity. A shot is swallowed up by Jesse Gordichuk.
Jesse Gordichuk was out of position, scrambled in front of his net. The big shot from the slot, and he swallows it up, and we get another face-off to the left of Jesse Gordichuk with 2:14 left to play in the first.
On this one, Mitch Atkins for Danville going up against Hudson Michaelis for Elmira. Mafuz on it on the right-hand side. Turner on goal on the defensive side for that. Comes back around at Michaelis. Michaelis dips this one down to Mafuz behind the net. Mafuz hits the ice. He's back up, though.
Ooh, I thought that Elmira was going to get the call there.
And Tucker, if he played that, it would have been offside. A good heads up there as they win it back anyway in the neutral ice and are able to play instead of a face-off there. Yarwood on it now. He misses a pass, trying to get it there. Jesse Nair, it ends up with Barakov. Barakov finds Nair down the right-hand side. He's taken off his skates by Mafuz. Nice defensive play there by the Elmira captain. And this one wrapped down the left-hand side. Danville going for a bit of a shift change here. Elmira coming down the left-hand side through Gino Mini. Mini throws it down. It's going to come all the way to Tyler Urich. Urich tries to find a pass. It's going to come back all the way down the other side of the ice to Troy Passingham. He dumps it off to Gino Mini here as he's looking for a stretch pass. It's going to come all the way back down the ice and back down the other side of the ice too for icing.
I think Danville minds getting a little break there. That pass just barely missing.
Passingham holding his head a little bit. He's been putting in work so far tonight. Troy Passingham had many a stellar performance last year in his FPHL debut season as this one comes back around here. Played behind the net of Elmira. Coming back around to JT Walters. Played out here to Essery. Essery down the left-hand side. Not a whole lot of help, but he's got Urich on the far side. He finds him off the boards as Urich wraps it around, able to evade three defensemen and keeping possession as it comes out to Dale Dion. Brett Menden tries to clear this one. It comes back out to Elmira. Now behind the net with it, Urich. He's derobed there by Brett Menton, who has a hustle play to make up for the turnover. As Menton fights for this one amidst a tree of legs as Elmira dumps this one down into the offensive zone, putting on some pressure here with 22 seconds left to go. Behind now, Brad Denny, as he's content to kill a little bit of time here with Danville up 2-1. About 10 seconds left to go. A long shot fired around the boards there. That one actually looked like it got stuck behind the boards for a second, but it was just stuck up in the net. This one played all the way around with about time running out. Icing waved out as time was running out anyway, and we've got a 2-1 score at the end of the first period here in the opener for the weekend at the David S. Palmer Arena. How's that for action in the first period? We've got a goal by Tyler Urich and goals by Justin Browsen and Patrick Zelak to get us going here. 3 goals in the first period we're in for a wild ride, I would say, this weekend.
3 very pretty goals, I might add. That was no junk goals there. It was good, well played passing to get an open shot and then able to cash in. A very, very entertaining first period for the hometown fans here at the David S. Palmer Arena. And Nate, I'm really impressed with the amount of pressure that the Dashers are putting on the Elmira defense deep in their end. They're keeping Elmira from getting a lot of good breakouts.
Yeah, both sides actually putting on some sustained offensive pressure. It's not rare that you'll see 4 players down in the offensive zone to try and keep it in, even on a breakaway transition kind of play. Some fresh skates. We'll see if they can keep that up heading into the second 2 periods, or if we get some tired legs and a bit of choppy ice here as we head into the second. Well, we have our first intermission coming up, and therefore a lot of other games going on tonight. A full slate of FPHL action. We've got the Columbus River Dragons taking on the Menor Icebreakers. Right now that one is at 2-1 as Columbus has just scored. A contested game there at the Columbus, Georgia Civic Center. 2-1 in the second, just 6.5 minutes into the second period in that one. Over in Battle Creek, we've got Port Huron taken away with the Battle Creek Rumblebees. That score is at 1-1 right now at the rink. Wow. Battle Creek. I did not know that was the name of their arena. I like it. Nonetheless, 1-1 with 8 minutes gone in the second period of that one. Battle Creek and Port Huron tied. That would be a big result for Danville if Battle Creek can take any kind of points away from that one, as Battle Creek and Port Huron go at it. Now Carolina up to 2-1 over the Watertown Wolves with 10 minutes gone into the second period, and a high-scoring affair in Delaware as Delaware taking on Danbury, a 3-3 score with 18 minutes gone in the second. So that one looking like a very hotly contested contest going into the third period over there. And of course, the final game, the most important one if you're watching this, Elmira and Danville going at it here, heading to the second period at a score of 2-1. Dennis, do you think the next 2 periods are going to be as high scoring as this one is? Will we end up with 9 goals on the score sheet?
It's a possibility. Both teams are really, really ramping up the pressure in the defensive end, and they're making a lot of good, crisp passes. I've been very impressed with the attacks from both clubs, just like I'm very impressed with the choice of music tonight by Tommy B for Country Night out here at David S. Palmer Arena. He's playing both kinds of music, country and western.
Yeah, a lot of fun here tonight as we see some representatives from all the sponsor organizations out throwing some stuff around the rink. A pretty normal event here, I would say, in the first intermission of the Danville Dashers hockey, because there is always something going on here, it seems. And no matter what it is, it's always a fun time. And I guess when I ask you that question, Dennis, it should be mentioned, Danville really does seem to have the advantage when it comes to goals against in an average game, with Jesse Gordichuk, his current total on the season at 2.82 in his 33 games played. He's got 14 wins in that one and 9 losses. Now on the other side of the ice, obviously Troy Passingham, who's been made to work already so far tonight, an impressive goalie in his own right. Maybe a little bit of a down year for him with 3.45 goals allowed per game, and their backup goalie on the side with 3.14 with 4 wins and 1 loss. Passingham really can put on a show when he gets into a rhythm. It'll be interesting to see how he comes out and approaches this second period. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break here as we head towards that second period. We'll be back in just a bit with the second part of the action here as the Danville Dashers take on the Elmira Enforcers. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back here to the David S. Palmer Arena, downtown Danville, Illinois. We're getting ready and amped up for the second period of Danville Dashers hockey here, playing host to the Enforcers of Elmira, New York. Two very similar cities, two very similar teams, a lot in common. You know, Dennis, it's kind of funny thinking about how much these two sides have in common. Not only players that have been passed back and forth and back again a couple times, to say the least, but also I was just randomly reading last season at one point when we were playing Elmira, looking up, don't remember if it was statistics that I was looking up at the time. I think it was something about Ahmed Mahfouz and his time with the two teams. Very many articles. There was an article from, I think, either the Washington Post or the New York Times talking about how Middle America had kind of suffered in the same way as this part of New York in terms of industry leaving the area. And two cities mentioned specifically in the article, Danville and Elmira. And you just can't write a script any better than that. It's really the battle of two very similar teams with a lot of history as well.
A lot of similar teams, similar cities. And my goodness, I was really impressed with Mahfouz's play in the first period. This is a guy that's been around for a while. He is still quick, still hits hard, and still plays a great game. This Elmira team is tough, man. This is, if the Dashers can take them down this weekend, that's a big accomplishment. This is a very talented Elmira club.
Yeah, Mahfouz definitely does not move like a 30-year-old. That's basically what I'll say about that. He's from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. He's played in a couple different leagues, but as you can tell, he's played a fair share of his time in the FPHL. Started out with the Aquasancy Warriors, to the Dayton Demons, to the Port Huron Prowlers, to the Cornwall Nationals, to the Danville Dashers, and now to the Elmira Enforcers. Well, we're looking at some changes here as we come out to start the second period. Danville now on top after obviously starting off scoreless. Elmira struck first. Now Danville back on top after two straight, and what, three beautiful goals we've seen already tonight. Looking like a great night for hockey here in Danville. Two impressive goaltenders also on the sheet tonight in Troy Passingham and Jesse Gordichuk. Elmira now going to go left to right across your TV screen, radio dial, whatever you prefer, and whichever one makes the most sense, because let me tell you, one of them doesn't make any sense at all.
The one thing I would have bet against in the first period is no penalties from two hard-hitting teams. These teams do like to hit. They do like to play a very physical brand of hockey, and I'm amazed that we went without a penalty for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, it isn't something we probably would have expected. I expected a very fast, physical game, but nonetheless, Elmira and Danville shown a change of speed from their former FPHL days through the trades I think they've made this season and over the off-season. Guys like Mark Essery coming in, Tyler Urich coming in for Elmira, and on the other side, Mitch Atkins, Tyler Quintos, a couple Danville Dashers. Now, they've added a lot of talent, a lot of fast skaters. You see guys like Nick Gullo, they still lay the boom every once in a while, but in a tight contest like this, man, they can lace them up and go out there and play hockey with the best of them.
Almost a big pickoff there.
There were times last season where a game between these two teams seemed more like a WWE on ice than it did a hockey game. As Danville works impressively down the right, Nair with it. This one comes out to Ensor, who fires a shot off of Passingham. Collected out here now by number 77, Brandon Tucker, who passes it along. And now coming down the other side of the ice with JT Walters. Over to the other side with Tucker on the other side. Actually, that was Hudson Michaelis on the other side. Turned over to Danville's Patrick Zalak. Michaelis does a nice job of getting it back, fighting for it along the boards. He's tied up and pushed down to the ground. And this one fought for out in front of open ice for Elmira with a shot that comes all the way to Gordichuk. Bounces out. Dangerous opportunity here. It's dealt with by Danville's Elmira with some beautiful link-up play there to get out in front of Jesse Gordichuk. Instead, coming the other side of the ice here is Passingham going to have to defend his own net.
Great job of flashing the pads by Jesse Gordichuk.
Oh, some great hand-eye there by Ahmed Mahfouz to keep that one in off a pass from Michaelis. Mahfouz on now with a shot. Swallowed up by Gordichuk, but bounced out. You don't see that a whole lot from him. Fred Hines sends this one down the ice. It's not going to get far enough to be icing, obviously, and then it's going to have to be played by Elmira as it comes along to Glenn Patterson.
Gordichuk had two players on that side of the puck, so he knew he could let that rebound go.
Cameron Yarwood passed that out to Kyle Stevens, and Elmira now works the other way with it. This one fought 4 up along the boards behind Jesse Gordachuk 2 times off the top of the glass, as puck seemingly having a mind of its own a few times so far tonight, especially down in that end. It's been to the Dashers' advantage for the most part tonight. We'll see if Elmira can turn the tables and use it to their advantage now coming the other way. A big hit there laid to Glenn Patterson. In on that one, Levi Armstrong pressing him up against the glass, and now Levi Armstrong trying to win this puck back here as it comes all the way to passing him. A dangerous situation there. Passing him, just doing all he can to use his stick to throw that one away, as Armstrong applying the pressure.
Great hustle play by Levi Armstrong, never giving up on that play, makes the big hit and then rushes all the way down the ice for the scoring chance.
Brett Menton does a nice job at getting that one away, but takes the hit as a price from Mark Essery, but Danville still with it down on the other end of the ice as Elmira plays it out.
Dashers bringing a little more energy here.
A shot off of Passingham from the deep part of the offensive zone, and that eventually finds Dmitro Babenko. Turned over though to Jesse Nair. Nair tries to get it to Atkins, instead finds Denny. Denny down the ice, tipped up and sped along there by Babenko, as Elmira now looking to go the other way with it. This one comes across to Babenko down the left-hand side here, fires a shot off the leg of Denny. He gets it back on a rebound off the boards. Now fighting forward in the corner, Kyle Stevens passes it out. Elmira gaining some traction. Comes all the way out to Babenko, throws it in front of prime opportunity there. Did have Tyler Urich, instead squandered by one of the best goal scorers in the league. On this one now, Zalak, the goal scorer. He hustles this one out with a nice drag to get open. It comes back to him again. Jesse Nair would have had an open opportunity there. Instead out to Denny. Denny with a shot on to Passingham. Back out to Denny on the point. Denny down into the crease. And that one goes all the way back, and Brett Menton going to have to hustle to this one. Playing pressure here is Andrew Harrison.
Elmira happy that Danville turned it over on their own.
Denny tries to link up with Brett Menton, instead turned over here to Elmira coming down the other end with Andrew Harrison. Harrison, a speedy skater behind the net here, passes it out to the point, trying to link up with number 7, Gino Mini. And Elmira does just enough to keep this one in their offensive zone. Dangerously played out there in front of Jesse Gordachuk. Out and off the boards and out of the offensive zone all the way to Dale Dion. That one takes a weird bounce off the boards into the side of the net for Gordachuk, and Elmira going to go back on the offensive. Oh, a nice pass there. Instead, it's sought out by Brad Denny, who throws it out of the zone. Now Danville working the other way with it. Down the left-hand side here. A fake shot to Zalak in front of net. He lost that one, gets it back. And what a play, Troy Passingham, to get out of the zone there and grab that one.
Turn the puck over after it looked like he was going to corral the puck. Then all of a sudden, that puck just bounced away from him, and the Dashers all over it.
15:25 left, and Jesse Gordachuk is asking them to take a look at the glass panel, which is respectively loose from its moorings. They're going to get some work done on that one.
So in addition to being a fantastic goaltender, one of the best in the league by far, he's also good at spotting maintenance issues here in the arena.
Might be the next general manager of the arena. He can work hand in hand with the general manager of the team, Diane.
There you go.
That's a partnership that's made to last here in terms of service.
Yeah, that was the big hit by Levi Armstrong that kind of rattled the glass and kind of took one of the connectors between the glass pieces out.
Sometimes that happens in hockey. That's all I've got to say about that. And they're going to replace it, actually, as that one looks like it's going to be pulled all the way out and going to have to bring a replacement in. It seems like this happens all the time. We've had this, I think, 3 weeks in a row where something similar to this has happened. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the shot totals from tonight. Elmira taking the lead here in terms of shot totals, but not in chances converted. 14 shots on goal so far tonight for them. 2 each per side in the second period. Danville a total tonight so far of 8 shots on goal. Not a penalty serve so far with 15:25 left to go in the second period, as we are now in a stoppage thanks to some glass maintenance. Dennis, something I was noting as we were going along this team roster for Elmira, they have a massive amount of players from Ontario there in Canada. I'm counting 3 on here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players just on the active roster from Ontario. might as well call them the Ontario national team. They're here representing well in a tight game, 2-1. And it's going to be a fun one here for the rest of the night as soon as we can get this sloppy maintenance fixed up.
Yeah, the officials are doing the bulk of the work out there right now. But I'm sure they'll get it all fixed up here and we'll be ready to go back to playing. It's almost like they've got one of the old Tinker Toy sets that they're putting back together here is what it reminds me of.
And then he's like, this ain't even worth watching no more.
But what an aggressive start to the second period by the Danville Dashers, putting a lot of pressure on Elmira's defense. And if it wasn't for a couple of errant passes by Danville, I think they might have cashed in.
And looks like the glass is fixed and we're about ready to get back on the ice here. And not too shabby. Didn't take too long, did it?
Nah, they're experts, man. They got this thing down.
As we're going to see the face-off to the left of Passingham. And it's won by Elmira and pushed back all the way here to number 57, Cameron Yarwood. Yarwood trying to play that one up. Instead, it's off the boards, and Quintos almost gets a stick on it. That one played to Mahfouz all the way up to Turner. Turner to Fred Hine. It's taken there nicely. Number 77, Brandon Tucker on the interception as this one's dumped behind Jesse Gordachuk. Seth Ensler doing his best to get rid of it. He does as far as Yarwood here on the close side. Oh, a long shot there from Yarwood off the pads of Jesse Gordachuk. Not anything too testing, but points for accuracy.
You don't expect it coming from that deep.
Essery on this one finds a player open here. It's Mahfouz. And that was Mahfouz on the left-hand side, had an opportunity as Jesse Gordachuk lost his stick there as well. And Fred Hine's going to end up with this one on the right-hand side. It's turned over quickly there to number 9, Dale Dion. Mahfouz and Essery getting a little tripped up here, but Elmira coming down the right-hand side nonetheless. A shot doesn't get as far as Jesse Gordachuk out in front. An opportunity there sought out by Fred Hine with a nice defensive play. Tyler Quintos coming down the left-hand side. Passes it over to Zalak. Zalak fires across the right. That one blocked up there and comes out to Hudson Michaelis. Trying to find Essery, does eventually off the boards as he's coming down the left-hand side. Tries to get past a man. Troy Murray with a nice defensive effort as Tesserero puts Essery into the boards. Danville now working to come the other way. It's Tesserero and Armstrong out there on the offensive end, now joined by Hawgood, who comes out on the shift change as Elmira coming the other way, turned over to Hawgood. Tesserero gets it back on the center. Instead, it's turned over to Elmira. Number 13, Andrew Harrison coming down the left-hand side. The former Dasher wraps it back, tries to look for a pass. It eventually bounces off the stick and comes out to Justin Browsen. One nice stick move, and he loses it off the stick there of Andrew Harrison, and that one has to be frozen up by Gordachuk.
I think Gordachuk just wanted to get a little break in the action there and get some fresh bodies on for the home team. And we're already down at 13:36 in the second period, Nate. They're just flying through this period.
On this one, Pease is going to take the face-off for Elmira. Atkins on the other side. That one won by Elmira comes out to Patterson. Patterson sends this around the back of the net, a little bit too far for Brendan Hussey, but it does come back out to Danville. Cleared out of the zone and comes over to Dale. He drops it to Harrison, who sends it back around the glass. Why not do it a second time? Oh, dangerous positioning there for Gordachuk as Elmira is threatening. It works out, though, as Atkins coming down the left-hand middle here. Atkins loses it, gets it back, fires a shot onto the right side of Passingham, who blockers it away. This one now in the hands of Zach Pease behind the net. Played back around here to number 91, Glenn Patterson. Back to Pease. Danville pressing in the offensive zone for them. Now Elmira gets it out of their own blue line and brings it across the second blue line. On it here with an open opportunity, and nicely done by Dale Dion to create the chance. He's forced off the puck there by Jesse Nair, and it comes out to Mitch Atkins. Atkins trying to find Murray. Murray didn't know that he was trying to find him. Instead finds Atkins. Atkins got some help down the left-hand side, tries to get past one. It comes back out to Glenn Patterson. A nice defensive effort there from Elmira. On that one was Zach Pease. Essery coming down the right-hand side. He's tripped up there by Menton. Essery fires one off the leg of Brad Denny, and that one harmless there for Danville. Fred Hine applying the pressure here as this one brought back around by number 24, JT Walters. An open opportunity there just wide for Nick Gullo. Back to Fred Hine. Gullo was tied up there. So nice defensive effort from Glenn Patterson. Elmira coming the other way with it now. Oh, a nice move there by Michaelis to get open. A shot swallowed up by Gordichuk. Had to come out for that one. What a save.
Big time stop by Jesse Gordichuk. Keeps Danville on top.
Brad Denny getting a little bit into it there with J.T. Walters on the side here closest to us.
All season long, we've been seeing teams getting a little physical with the Danville Dashers goalie, and Brad Denny making sure that didn't happen tonight.
Face-off won by Elmira, played behind here. Essery gonna get it. He's tripped up by his fellow number 4, Brad Denny. That's gonna be a matchup to watch tonight. This one played out to number 27, Hudson Michaelis. Out on the shot here, a point shot. Dangerous rebound. Gordichuk swallowed up there by Essery and does just enough to throw him off. It comes back out to the point. A shot blocked up. That one sounded like it went off the post, but some effort here from the Danville defense as Elmira really putting on the pressure. Essery with a nice move to get past Gullo there. Doesn't fool Brad Denny. And Gullo gonna have to try and send this one out to Fred Hine. He does. Hine on it with a nice stretch pass there. Was touched up by Jesse Nair. Actually, that's Tyler Quintos out there. Quintos fighting for it here with number 7, Gino Mini. Anything but Mini in terms of size. Nonetheless, the last name. This one comes out to Mafuz. He's got help to his right. Passes it through. A nice feed there. Gordichuk following him along on the attempt there was Mini. A huge hit laid there by Seth Ensor as he takes one out. Now coming the other way, AJ Tesserero has some space, just wide right.
Oh, I thought he was going to cash in there. AJ with a real nice move, eluding the defense and getting himself a good shot, but just misses.
That was a nice move there from Tesserero, who saw his shot go out of play off the boards, and we'll have a face-off to the right of Troy passing it.
Dashers forwards are doing a good job of harassing Elmira in their own defensive end, and they're only getting that job done with 2 forwards, Nate. They're holding a third guy back to make sure they have a good, strong defense. Very impressed with the hustle from the Danville Dashers forwards tonight.
As we're actually going to see our first penalty of the night assessed to Elmira. Going into the box there was Sage Citron.
Wow.
And we'll get an official ruling on what exactly that was for. I didn't see anything really. It might have been behind the play. But we're going to go on our first Jenna Worth power play of the night for the Danville Dashers, as they're going to have an opportunity to go up by 2 if they can capitalize.
Look out.
An opportunity there for number 47. Kyle Stevens is just thwarted out by Jesse Gordichuk. Would have had a nice opportunity, just got a little bit too close there. Sage Citrone serving for too many men on the ice is the official ruling.
There we go.
And Danville on the power play. Fred Hine tries to link up with Nair, but called back offside.
Yeah, AJ Tesserero on the near side here, just barely trying to scrape that paw to keep it on side, but could not do so. And we'll come all the way back to just outside the Dashers blue line on this one.
Face-off will be Tesserero on it for Danville. It's won by Tesserero. Back to the left defenseman Browsen, who's slotted in there. Fred Hine out on the left-hand wing. He's got Tesserero out there with him. Browsen, Turner, and it looks like Jesse Nair. 2 offensive defensemen for Danville. This one played nicely. Going to have an opportunity here is Kyle Stevens. He's sorted out by Browsen. Stevens and Browsen fighting for it all the way along the boards. Browsen ends up with it.
Holding job there from Elmira, but they got away with it.
Nair to Tesserero to Browsen. A shot fired off the leg there. Now coming the other way with it, Ahmed Mahfouz. A dangerous situation down the left-hand side. A shot goes up left, saved by Gordichuk.
Turner doing a good job of taking away all the angles except for one.
This one out to Mahfouz, who can't get a grip on it. There were 4 Danville men there to see that the FPHL's all-time leading goal scorer didn't add one to his tally. And that's the way you stop a dynamic goal scorer. Put 4 men on him. 34 seconds left to go in the power play for Danville. 9:24 left to go in the period. Brad Denny on the right defenseman point here. This one played through to Nair. Actually, Barakov. Barakov on the right-hand side fires a shot, passing him with the save. Brought out in front, wide left there. Had an opportunity, did Atkins. Atkins on it now. A nice sliding stop there by Mahfouz. He plays 2 ways. Coming the other way is Dion. Dion with a shot off the blocker of Gordichuk. He sees that one out on a nice extension pass. I'm not sure Nick Gullo knew that it was coming to him. Actually, Tyler Quintos on it. Quintos somehow holds on to that one and ends up with it in the end off the boards. Holding now Quintos. The power play has expired, and Danville on the regular offensive opportunity here. A stick on the ice. That one runs off maybe to the fortune of Danville, actually, as it kept it in the zone. But coming the other way now, Dimitro Babenko. Babenko down the left-hand side fires a shot. That one's going to be swallowed up by Gordichuk off the rebound from the boards.
Elmira 83% for the season on the penalty kill, and we saw why. Good pressure by Elmira, not letting Danville get really organized in the offensive end.
We're going to get our second media timeout of the night, which means about 2/3 of the way through the game here. 8:29 left to go in the second period, and Danville still with that 2-1 lead that they came into the period with. We'll go ahead and get a quick look. I know there's some contested games going around the FPHL, and we're looking at some tight ones. We're going to get an update here. 4-4 now the score in Delaware. That's Danbury playing on the road to Delaware. Port Huron now up 3-1 on Battle Creek. That tie game didn't last long. Watertown at 2-2 against Carolina. The Columbus Rubber Dragons up 6-1 against the Menor Icebreakers on the road. The Danville Dashers obviously up 2-1 here in our game.
Looking around the arena, Nate, I see a couple of Mafoose jerseys in all different colors here in the arena. So, player who's been around a long time, there's a lot of jerseys out there.
Yeah, a lot of Mafoose fans around here from this time with the team. Did help bring the Danville Dashers their Federal League Cup not too many years ago, back in 2017, if my memory serves me correctly.
And it does.
That was before I was around. Not like around on the earth, but around on the team. Wish I could have been here for it, though. Also on that team, Andrew Harrison, who's now his teammate down there on the Elmira bench. And the remaining members of that team from Danville, Brad Denny and Justin Browsen. So 2-2 basically on both sides.
Well, Danville Dashers will just have to win the cup again this year for us.
I guess so. That would be quite a good moment to remember, I would say. Maybe they'll have to make a trade to bring Mafoose and Harrison back to the team. I don't see that one happening, though. This face-off won by Danville to the left of Jesse Gordichuk following the media timeout. Armstrong plays it back. Dangerous turnover here as this one almost came back out for a point shot. Justin Browsen with a nice stick check to see that one out of harm's way.
Seeing a lot of good effort from the Danville forwards tonight, helping out their defenders.
As that one was played back by Logan Hawgood, out now to Justin Browsen. He's got past one, he's got some space, fires a shot from the right-hand side, blocked up there nicely by number 91, Glenn Patterson. Now trying to make a run with it is Brandon Tucker, but instead it's Troy Murray who gets there first. Tucker on it now along the boards. He's going to try and hold this one in until he can get some help. He does nicely, as unable to throw him off is Murray. Elmira with an opportunity in front of goal. Jesse Gordichuk dives on it and freezes this one.
That puck hops out in front of Gordichuk. Elmira circling like a bunch of sharks trying to jump on that opportunity. But Jesse Gordichuk flopped on the puck himself to make the stop and get the face-off here on the near side.
Michaelis on the face-off for Elmira. And that one won by Danville, bringing it back along the boards. As trying to make a run with it now. A little miscommunication there, but they're open on net. Nair with a pass and a hold. Oh, an Elmira player goes sliding into the net before the shot came off. We'll see how that one is ruled. We've got a stoppage here as they're probably going to get together and talk about this one. It was Cameron Yarwood with a sliding tackle on the net. And he looks to be okay. That's a positive sign, but Danville robbed of an opportunity there on net. I have a feeling we won't see anything from this, though. The real only alternative is you can award a penalty shot, but we're not going to get anything from it.
Yeah, they were both referees were really quick to signal that there was nothing there. Looked like the player lost his edge and just kind of slid for distance, but unfortunate that he took out the net and took out an opportunity for Danville.
Passingham had it nicely covered. You wonder if that played into it as he was ready for it. Danville, an opportunity in front, goes wide right. That off the stick of Jesse Nair. As getting a little bit contested out there, a little more chippy maybe as this one fired on to the left side. That was Seth Ensor on it now. Coming the other way with it is Hudson Michaelis. English is hard, Dennis, let me tell you. This one comes back to Seth Ensor. Ensor eventually finds an offensive player off the boards once, as this one comes back down the other way.
It's not like you talk for a living or anything.
Oh, yeah, sometimes. Ensor on it now, bringing it back across his own blue line. Danville going to regroup. Passed along the boards here. It comes out to Mitch Atkins, who passes to Ensor. Mafuz with it now.
Turnover, offside
he
though.
was called offside there. I might disagree with that one. Mafuz had the opportunity. He doesn't look too upset with it, though.
Yeah, McAllis was here right next to the bench and offside, just about a foot and a half.
A game of centimeters. Or feet, if you prefer. McAllis going to take this one.
He used to be able to do those calculations pretty good, and with so many Ontario players, I'm sure they can.
That shot rocked in by Dale Dion, swallowed up by Jesse Gordichuk.
With so many Ontario players, I can tell you how many double-doubles go into a looney, though, or how many loonies it takes for a double-double. You only get that joke if you're from Ontario.
Nope. Oh, a dangerous opportunity here. Mafuz creating it. A wraparound shot goes just wide to the right, as Elmira almost pulled one back there. Now Fred Hine coming down the right-hand side, got speed. Tries to fire a backhander. It's nicely sorted out by Troy Passingham. Out to the point for Danville, whiffing on a shot as Mitch Atkins, swallowed up by Passingham. What a two-save streak that is.
Boy, Brett Minton coming on there had a good opportunity and just kind of double clutched. And by the time he did, the Elmira defense was able to come to the rescue. Another big stop by Passingham. Down to 6:16 left in the second. Danville up one.
This one comes all the way out here to Andrew Harrison, trying to link up with number 94, Brendan Hussey. It's sorted out by Brett Menton. Menton out to Hine. It's off the skate of Hine, and Elmira able to get an opportunity out of it. Back off the boards here and trying to be pushed out by Danville. Instead, thrown all the way back down the ice. Does not get as far as the icing call, and that one comes back to Gino Mini.
Just notice, Nate, we have not seen Fred Hine score in the last 3 games now. That's got to be some kind of a record this season at home.
Now back to Mini. Mini looking to carry it across the blue line. Eventually elects to dump it down. He's going to get a shift change out there. Walters and Yarwood now for Elmira as they hold on to the puck only momentarily, and this one comes out to Levi Armstrong. Armstrong out to Denny. Denny tripped up here. Elmira going to have an opportunity through Andrew Harrison, fighting for it with Brad Denny. Harrison does nicely to use one hand and ends up with it as he actually hits the ice in the end. No arms up in the air, though, from the refereeing crew.
Boy, Brad Denny, big-time turnover there, and Danville in the middle of a shift change at the same time.
Harrison with a beautiful job to stay on side there as this one comes out to the point of shot off of Jesse Gordichuk. Browsen trying to get rid of it here. And this one just a scrum in front of the net. Gordichuk has to jump on it as that one was just in the middle of nowhere. It sat in purgatory for about 20 seconds.
Defense was all out of kilter after that shot. Nobody seemed to be able to find the puck. And finally, Jesse Gordichuk having to do a Superman-style dive to get the face-off here on the near side. Big opportunity for Elmira, and they almost cashed in with the equalizer.
Face off here to the right of Jesse Gordichuk. Now coming the other way with it is Danville. It was turned over there initially. As trying to win it back now is JT Walters. Walters on it now. He's going to bring it down the middle. Passes it out to number 47, Kyle Stevens. Stevens dumps it around. Walters going to be the first of this one. A nice bounce off the boards there. Elmira going to have an opportunity in front of net. Jesse Gordichuk being screened there by Logan Hawgood. Now in front of net as Elmira just unable to capitalize on some of these unlucky bounces for Danville. One of these days they're going to put one of those in and tie this game. Elmira really threatening right now. But it's Atkins coming the other way with it down the net, and that one goes wide left of Passingham. It's going to be turned over. Coming the other way with it now is Yarwood.
Elmira got the big momentum on their side right now.
And Atkins with it now. He's bringing down the side to Jesse Nair.
Nice play.
Nair holds on to it. A tenacious Elmira defense here trying to strip him of it. That one popped up into the air, actually, off the stick and brought back down along as a big fight for it in the corner here. Elmira wins it and brings it out. They're going to come the other way through Tyler Urich. If there's one person you don't want to let get on a breakaway, it's Urich, and Danville does nicely at dealing with that one. Over to Fred Hine.
And my comment about Fred Hine was my way to say that I expect him to score tonight.
Fred Hine and Tyler Urich, two very comparable players in terms of their ability to create offense. And whatever team they land on seemingly can just generate an untold amount of offense, as that one swallowed up by Jesse Gordichuk with 3:27 left to go in the second period. Danville still holding a narrow lead in this one, 2-1. As we see a face-off here to the left of goaltender Jesse Gordichuk.
I like what Coach Ray Tremblay is doing, a little mix and match on the top line with Fred Hine, but keeping Mitch Atkins and him together a lot. Tyler Quintos also getting some ice time with Fred at times.
That one fought for hard down here and thrown all the way to Patterson. Patterson with some space, a nice pass in front of net as Mark Essery almost got home. That one a rocket from the point, blocked up by Gordichuk.
McCullough's doing a great job keeping that one in and keeping the offense on the attack.
Patrick Zelak throws that one over to Fred Hine. It's going to come all the way down and around as we're going to bring this one back.
Yeah, Fred Hine works so well with Tyler Quintos on this attack. The two of them together is dynamite.
As we have 3 minutes flat left to go here in the second period, and this one played behind to Patterson. Patterson throws this one up the boards, gets as far as Essery with a nice dump-off pass to Hudson Michaelis.
Ensor doing a good job standing him up the blue line.
Elmira wanted a call there. There have been a very few and far between calls here tonight, as Elmira now able to come the other way through it. They're working through Dale Dion. That one tipped up and over the glass and out of play as we're going to have another face-off.
Down to 2:37 now in the second period. Elmira's really had the best of it here on the offense, and now Elmira jawing with the official after the play. That's Mafus not happy at all.
He'll go back to rejoin the bench here.
Getting very animated with the official.
Captain pleading his case for his side as this face-off won by Danville and thrown all the way back here to JT Walters. This one popped up as it comes down to Elmira bounce, and Danville able to recover. A nice hand-eye there by Andrew Harrison to keep this one in the offensive zone. Playing it with a waist-high stick, very well done. Tesserero able to wrap around. He takes a hit and goes down, and Elmira laying the boom here, but Danville able to recover the puck. Cleared from the zone by Elmira, trying to make a play off of it is Brandon Hussey, and Gordichuk way out of his net to play that one, and all for the better as it comes back down to the Elmira side of the ice. Justin Browsen on it now, a long shot. What dealt with nicely by Troy passing him. Over to Nick Gullo. Gullo drops this one along the boards to Tesserero. He's played onto the boards there by Mafuz. Actually, Zach Pease. Now come the other way with it, Elmira. They've looked threatening the past couple of minutes, and with 1:35 left to go here in the second period, wouldn't count out a tying goal. And from the point, we'll have a shot there. That one bouncing out off the stick of Zach Pease, rattles around and comes to Dmitro Babenko. Played up into the air and out of the ice, and we're going to have another face-off here. Probably the fifth or sixth puck that's kind of jumped around.
Hoggett trying to get the puck along the old roulette wheel of the boards and out of the zone, but Elmira's active sticks popped that one way up in the air, and that puck just kind of floated over the glass. Danville just hanging on here, happy to see the second period come to an end.
1:12 left to go, not quite over yet as this one played into the defensive zone. Glenn Patterson on it now. Mitch Atkins on it behind the net as he freezes this one up against the glass, trying to fight for it.
Good hustle play.
As that one wrapped around there by Barakov, ends up coming out to his fellow number 77 on the other side. That was Brandon Tucker throwing it down. It comes all the way back down to Gordichuk, who wraps it around the ice to look for Jesse Nair. Nair chips it up and out of the zone as Patterson grabs it and sends it back in. Only gets as far as Nair, who's coming down the right-hand side, trying to get past Patterson. With a nice defensive effort, Patterson wins it back for Elmira. This one coming the other way now with 34 seconds left to go, trying to get something out of it is Kyle Stevens.
3 deep on defense again for Danville, kept that from being a problem.
Brad Denny does enough to get this one out and throws it all the way down the ice here to number 24, JT Walters.
Elmira just scrambling to get something here going here at the end of the second period.
Walters with a nice move to create some space, almost had a streaking Babenko there. Instead, it's coming the other way through Fred Hine. 8 seconds left.
Oh,
he throws a
try.
pass in there trying to look for Tyler Quintos. Instead, it looks like the clock is just going to run out here as it's sent down the zone. Mahfouz with a last-second opportunity. Just took a wrong bounce off the stick, and we're going to head into the third period with Danville up 1 by a score of 2-1.
It kind of looked like Danville was just hanging on, little fingertips on the cliff, trying to keep from falling off as Elmira just poured on the offense at the end of that second period. But good play, scrambling to make some stops and make some big plays. The Danville forwards helping out on defense. Kept this one, Danville 2, Elmira 1, heading to the break.
Yeah, it will be that. Let's take a look at the shot totals here in just a minute, but overall impressions before we get to that from the second period here, Dennis.
Danville started out on the attack and on the offensive, but all of a sudden with about 8 minutes left in that second period, Elmira had the big momentum on their side and took over. But great play by Jesse Gordachuk again in the net. How often have we said that this year? And good chances at sort of nullifying rebounds, especially by the Danville forwards, helped keep this one in Danville's plus side. So Elmira totally outplaying Danville at the end of that second period, but Elmira unable to cash in for the equalizer.
Also outplaying Danville for a majority of the game here in terms of shots. 26 for the Elmira Enforcers, 12 in the first, surpassing that total with 14 in the second, obviously. Danville with a straight-up 6 shots throughout the first and second. A hat tip, no doubt, to the Elmira defense, and also Troy Passingham for the shots that he's saved. They've been tough ones. He's had a rough day back there with a couple of close shots and a couple of bad rebounds go the other way. He might still have a clean sheet in this one, and a nice goal there obviously earlier on that still has the Dashers ahead. That was Justin Browsen firing home a pass from Levi Armstrong. Not a whole lot you can do in a 2-on-1 as a goalie unless you're Jordan Binnington, who can slide across the goal in seemingly no time, but there, it doesn't come around a lot.
This crazy game of hockey, 2-1 after the first period, and after 2 periods of play, we're still 2-1. So lots of scoring in the first, nothing in the second. Crazy game of hockey. We ever figure this one out, and we can make $1 million with our hockey predictions, Nate.
I think it becomes less fun at that point, though, in all honesty. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the scores from around the FP while we're here. 6 minutes into the third period, Columbus on the road, up big, 6-1 over the Menor Icebreakers. Now 7-1, a goal just added by Yanni Liarakos, as we see a 2-2 game in Carolina, still 10:49 gone in the third period there in Winston-Salem. Watertown now was up 2-1. Now a Jan Salat goal has evened that one at 2. Port Huron now up big by a score of 4-1 with 4 minutes gone in the third in Battle Creek against the Rumblebees. And over in the final game here, 5-4 Danbury over the Delaware Thunder. That one almost coming to a close here as Danbury could walk away with a tight win after sweeping the Thunderbirds just last weekend. Well, we'll look at those a little bit more and get you an updated score when we come back. But for now, we're going to go ahead and go to a break for the timeout and the period intermission, as we're going to get ourselves a little break before what no doubt will be an exciting period of final period, perhaps, action here at the David S. Palmer Arena. The Danville Dashers up by a score of 2-1 on the Elmira Enforcers. We'll be back in just a bit.
Tommy B's making me happy, Nate.
I was just going to let this one sink in for a little bit, in all honesty. I was just kind of listening, you know, just let him hear it.
Elmira. Elmira.
It's kind of entertaining on another level because Elmira's in New York, and I've never been there, so I can't say this definitively, but I don't think it's probably a very country place.
Probably not, but you know what they say, papa, mow, mow. It's
Right.
time for the
Right.
third period.
Also, if someone wants to correct me on that, go ahead, because I have no idea. Elmira could be very country.
Upstate New York is kind of a very interesting culture up there.
Because part of it's kind of rural, but not like really, because you're still in New York. I don't know. I'm going to have to check it out at some point.
Yeah, I'm not so familiar with the Elmira area as I am some other areas in upstate New York, and it is very, very nice part of the country.
I'm pretty sure it's close to Niagara Falls, or at least relatively, I think. I can't entirely remember. Scott Mathis was telling me a little bit about it not too long ago, but I'm going to have to get up there and check it out. Everybody I've met from Elmira is incredibly nice, so might as well be Canada. Everybody's nice from there, too.
Team was very nice when we came in tonight, and they were warming up here in the arena. They're nice guys. We just don't want them to win tonight.
Amy Leffler says it's a mix. So kind of like Danville, I would say, actually. Another similarity there. Thanks for the heads up. Third period of FPHL action here. The Danville Dashers playing host the Elmira Enforcers 2-1 at the start of the period here as we get our starting face-off.
It's going to be a crazy third period.
This one tied up. We're going to have a redo. Mitch Atkins in there for Danville, going up against number 27, Hudson Michaelis. 3 hours from Niagara Falls. Okay, that's a lot closer than we are, I suppose.
That's not too far.
Still worth a trip, I would say. This one played out to the left-hand side. Barakov trying to pick out a pass to Jesse Nair. Nicely intercepted there by Elmira. Instead, that one thrown off the foot of a Danville Dashers offenseman. It was Barakov that created a moment of offense. Mafuz now coming down the right-hand side. Oh, a nice pass to the left-hand side. Oh, goal!
Yeah.
That's a tie game. That was a beautiful pass from Ahmed Mafuz.
Dale Dion with the shot. Lurking, getting a beautiful pass from Mafuz and putting it home.
And just as quickly as it began, the third period has seen our first goal with literally just over 20 seconds off the clock. Ahmed Mafuz links up with Dale Dion to find an open net and beat Jesse Gordichuk for Elmira's second goal of the night.
Sloppy play in center ice for the Dashers, giving up that opportunity. Then a great play by Mafuz. And cashing in for Dion.
And right off the bat, a face-off won by Elmira. Played now by Danville, though, out to Fred Hine. Hine with a turnover there. That one comes out to Hudson Michaelis. Now playing the other way is Mark Essery. Essery holds a shot that bounces right. Mafuz would have had an opportunity there, but he blew a skate a little bit. That one comes out of the zone as Yarwood regroups. He passes it over to Glenn Patterson. Patterson links up with Essery. Essery carries across the blue line, coming down the left-hand side. Picks a pass there off the stick of Mafuz. Now Quintos comes the other way with it. Quintos down the right-hand side. That one turned over to Mafuz and coming down the other way with it. And Mafuz going to be in a foot race with Haga to get this one back. Mafuz wins it out. He doesn't skate like he's 30, does he? He's tripped up behind there, plays it on the ground. Some nice knee sliding play there from Ahmed Mafuz. Keeps control of the puck for Elmira. He's got it now to the left-hand side. A slide tackle there for Danville, trying to do anything they can to get this one cleared. Does just enough. It was Logan Hoggood in on there on that one, and now Tyler Quintos has it.
Good hustle by Mafuz for Elmira. Almost created another goal opportunity for Elmira.
Going to pass this one off here to Tesserero, over to Denny. Denny to Hoggood. Hoggood a pass off the leg there, number 47, Kyle Stevens. And Elmira able to regroup this one. It comes back behind the net of Troy passing him.
Every pass by Danville just off the mark or hitting a skate right now.
Just seeming to not come out in the same gear that they left on. Kept in nicely there by number 77, Brandon Tucker, as this one played behind to Menton. Menton turns it back over there sloppily to Kyle Stevens. And doing just enough to get it back there is Danville. Armstrong going to have to fight for this one. Sent along the boards to Tesserero. Tesserero might be able to pick a pass. Instead, beats one. He's got some open space. Oh, and offside's going to bring it back. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. The puck was stolen there by Dale Dion with a nice defensive effort.
Yeah, Justin Brosnan just barely off sides there on the far side. He was trying to do the old straddle the line game and just barely offside.
And Elmira wins that face-off as it comes all the way back here to Gino Mini. Danville really putting the pressure on now, and that's what they were doing with some success earlier on in the game. You would think that would be the strategy coming out of the gate. Instead, just now sending a couple guys forward. This one played to Mitch Atkins. Does a nice job there to get that to Barakov, who finds a spot over to Jesse Nayer. Couldn't control it, though. He would have had a big opportunity there. A delayed penalty against Elmira, and that one's going to go against Gino Mini, who face masked, per se, Jesse Nayer to the ground there.
Jesse Nayer kind of rearranging all of the body parts as he comes up. His helmet off, out of skew, and took a big hit along the boards, but that's going to cost Elmira 2 in the box and give Danville a chance to go up 3-2 here.
Well, it was just a high five. It just ended up in the face of Jesse Nayer, right? All's fair in love and hockey. This one won by Danville in the Jenna Worth power play.
Facial high five.
Yes, that one won by Danville. Played out here. Nice defensive effort there from number 19, Ahmed Mahfouz, to push that one out. This one turned over sloppily and sent down the ice by Kyle Stevens. Elmira going to run a little time off the clock. 16:58 in the third. 1:40 left to go in the Jenna Worth power play. Check her out. Jenna Worth, your State Farm agent. Give her a call, 217-442-4698. Danville coming down the other end of the ice now. Fred Hine on the back spot here. Turner wraps it around the Atletico Fitness sign. Passing in. Nayer with a shot. That one on to Passingham.
Oh.
Who had a glove save. It bounced out of his glove, but did enough to ward it off, and it's sent down the ice. 1:15 left to go in the power play for Danville.
Matter of an inch or two for Danville to cash in there.
A nice stretch pass finds Fred Hine. Doesn't have a whole lot of help there, and this one just going to be easily turned over to Elmira, who send it down the ice. Oh, a big chance here for Elmira. Flipped up in front of Gordichuk, just wide left. Had a Citrone had an opportunity there. This one comes out to Dmitro Babenko. A shot on goal off the chest of Gordichuk. Elmira with more opportunities out of this power play than Danville. Oh, Babenko with a nice offensive, defensive play there to get it back. It comes as far as Atkins, though. He's in a skate race here with Babenko. Quintos with it. That one trying to find Barakov. Instead, it's thrown out of the zone by Elmira. Brad Denny on it now with 30 seconds left to go in the third, in this power play for Danville. Brad Denny carries it across the blue line, drops it off to Barakov. Oh, a nice move there. Is a spin move, finds some space. Now Brad Denny with it, looking to pick a pass off the blocker there of Passingham. That one actually came off the skate of Kyle Stevens. Shot from the point, trying to redirect it. Passingham with a little bit of a slide tackle there. Does just enough to get this one free. Puck comes out to Brad Denny as Danville gets back on side. Barakov with it. Barakov over to Ensor. Off the skate of Ensor. Mahfouz with it now. Elmira running in numbers. Mahfouz down the right-hand side. Right side and passing. A nice sliding effort there by Brad Denny to get rid of the offensive opportunity for Elmira. Barakov takes a big hit there from Mahfouz. And Elmira gets the puck back and no longer on the power play for Danville. Elmira coming down the middle here. Shot, and that's to the left. Gordichuk didn't get a glove on it, but did just enough to pass it wide. Now back in the possession of Danville.
A little
Logan
slash
Hoggood.
behind the scene there, but it goes uncalled.
This one bringing back through Levi Armstrong. Oh, that's a pass over. Nayer going to have an opportunity here. Nick Gullo was in front of net. Gullo wraps it around here. He's bringing it back. A nice turn on his wheels there. Blows a skate. We're going to have a call from way behind here. And that one's going to be called a tripping, I would assume, as we're got a delayed penalty on Elmira.
Yeah, the FAR official making the call, and Elmira just getting out of the penalty box, going right back in with 14:24 left in regulation. Another big chance for Danville. When I was talking to Coach Ray Tremblay before the game, Nate, I asked him what was the key to the fact that Elmira's been so good on the PK, and he says they're really annoying. They put a lot of pressure on you, and they don't let you set up, and that's what we've seen tonight.
That's exactly what you want to hear from your opposition, that's for sure. Paul Jean, head of officiating for the FPHL on that tripping call there. As Danville going to go back on the Jenna Worth power play. An opportunity right off the bat here. Tesserero going to have it in front of net. Elmira tenaciously fighting. No call here. Actually, this one going to be blown dead. We'll see what Paul Jean makes of it, as Tesserero may have made a little bit of a show of throwing himself to the ground on that one. Looked like a stick to the face. Tesserero looking for blood. We'll see if he finds it. This call could change the sway of the game here with 14:08 left to go.
And I think we're going to get the call.
It looks like there will be a call, and it's going to go on Dale Dion.
Dale Dion slowly skating towards the box. But we're also seeing Tesserero coming to the box as well.
I wonder if they're going to get him for a flop.
They're going to get him for the enhancement of a call, yes.
It looks like it, but either way, Danville going to have a man advantage.
He is angry
There's
in that penalty box, and I don't blame him. He got hit.
There's 1:44 left to go here on the penalty against Kyle Stevens. Now going to add a penalty to both teams for that. We're going to see some 5-on-4 hockey here, the Jenna Worth power play, as Justin Browsen has this one at the point. Over to Turner. Turner loses it up. It's a nice defensive play there by Hudson Michaelis as he ends up with it. Michaelis brings it back, going to try and kill some time. A nice offensive play there by Atkins to pressure. This one comes all the way back here to Logan Hawgood. Hawgood finds Browsen. The sure-handed Justin Browsen, such a staple for this Dashers team. And now Browsen carries it across his blue line. He's beat one already. He's got some space to the left. He elects to carry it around the goal here and brings it back around. He's still got it coming down the other side of the ice. Over to Hawgood. Hawgood, and comes back out to Browsen. Browsen from the point, looking for Fred Hine a little bit too hard. That one's going to come back around Hawgood. Turner actually back there, going to try and keep this one in. He does so. Turner, a shot from the point out in front, and nicely dealt with there as Troy Passingham eventually got it to Hudson Michaelis to bring it around again. 2-2 here, 13-12 left to go in the third period. 45 seconds left to go on the penalty. This one brought around here as it's Mitch Atkins on it. Atkins taken to the ground here. A nice bit of defensive play there by number 91, Glenn Patterson. Brad Denning does just enough to hold off the hawking Ahmed Mahfouz on that one. And Seth Ensor dumps it out. Barakov going to be the first one to it in the Dashers' defensive zone. 22 seconds left to go on the power play.
Smart move by Danville here with the penalty about to expire, getting two defensemen out there on the point.
Quintos back on it now. Quintos around to Denny. Denny elects to hold. He's going to try and run after Brendan Hussey here. He passes it through. It's going to come all the way back down behind the net of Passingham. Elmira able to recover with it.
4-on-4 hockey.
And 4-on-4 hockey. The scoreboard not
5-on-5
leading us
hockey.
correctly.
5-on-5 hockey. The other penalties canceled each other out.
Danville able to get on the puck here and bring it down the right-hand side. As we see a couple of shift change just a second ago and a little play behind the action here as this one comes all the way out to Brad Denny. Putting a pressure on here is Dimitro Babenko. He's had an active night.
Oh.
The door came open on that hit.
That was a big hit.
That's a good reason to stop play, I would say.
Yeah, when the door inadvertently opens up, it's probably a good idea to take a break. Down to 12:01 now in regulation, all tied 2 apiece, and we're going to see both players that were penalized make the skate over to their bench. The usually mild-mannered and smiling A.J. Tesserero was given a glare to the official as he came to the bench.
Yeah, I don't think he was too happy about that one, but simulation called nonetheless as this one comes out to the point to number 57, Cameron Yarwood, a slapper swallowed up Jesse Gordichuk. As he is standing on his head to keep these Danville Dashers back in the action. 2-2, still tied up, thanks to the effort largely of Jesse Gordichuk in front of net.
We've seen solid play by both netminders tonight.
Yeah, a little shaky start on the ice for both of them. Led up some weird offensive opportunities, but they've really turned it on here in the second and third periods. Elmira with it now. Mahfouz down the right wing. He's going to push this one behind net. Gordichuk going to get a stick on it. He's caught out of position, though, as this one retained by Elmira. Danville had it for a moment, but turns it over here in front of the boards. Mahfouz, a beautiful pass between the legs, found Mark Essery. Got a little bit excited there. Armstrong lays a big hit there.
The fans love when Levi Armstrong nails someone against the boards.
This one played up, looked like it could have hit the rafters, but it comes back down here. And played by Elmira. Mahfouz over to the right-hand side, bringing it this way now And a nice offensive buildup here by Elmira. Sees him in on goal and scores.
Snuck it in the near side post.
That was Cameron Yarwood, the defenseman, putting Elmira ahead.
Jesse Gordichuk frustrated on that one. He's mad at himself for letting up what he's going to consider an easy goal, but a nice play by Yarwood.
Yeah, I think he should be frustrated about that one. Had the pole covered, but Yarwood able with a nice backhand there to sneak it in. A beautiful shot from Cameron Yarwood.
Good hustle play by Yarwood. We haven't seen much of him come down into the offensive zone from the point. There he had the opportunity, took it, and cashed in.
And Danville wins the faceoff, but immediately loses it back. Andrew Harrison in now, nicely dealt with there by number 26, Sam Turner. Barakov coming down the left-hand side here. Barakov still with it, a little bit of space, gets it back to Turner. Turner with a fake shot, gets a little more room. He fires a pass there in on passing him. It comes off the blocker of passing him. Danville trying to get it back. Instead, dealt with nicely by Elmira. 10:37 left to go here in the third period. Flip down the ice behind the net of Jesse Gordichuk. Seth Ensor the first to it. Gives it over to Turner. Turner and Quintos, a little bit of a miscommunication. This one thrown forward to Fred Hine. Instead intercepted there by Dale Dion. Some nice hand-eye by Sam Turner. Sees him end up with the puck. He throws this one forward to Quintos. Quintos has Hine. Hine with it now. Hine back in front of net. Oh, just up and over. Almost to our colleagues up there in the box as that one well up and over, and we're going to have a face-off here in the Dashers offensive zone.
Pretty play by Fred Hine, putting that right on the stick of his teammate. Fired, had the goalie beat, had him down and out and beat, but fired it up too high.
A stick tie there, sees Elmira come up with it. This one played out all the way to Brett Menton, trying to find Brad Denny. It was a race, and Brandon Tucker won it. As Brad Denny ties him up, Tucker there with Denny. Now Quintos has it for Danville. Oh, beautiful hand-eye, played with a high stick though. Instead, Danville gonna come the other way with it through Brad Denny. Denny gonna send it down the ice here. It's blocked up. Now the first one to it is gonna be Tyler Urich, it looked like. Brad Denny does a nice job. Elmira bench calls for a foul. Nothing awarded here as they get to retain the possession of the puck. And that was Brandon Tucker throwing it down the ice behind Gordichuk. It was Menton as Tucker ends up fighting back for it. Now Fred Hine doing his best to see what he can, but it's 2 against 1 there in the corner. Fred Hine somehow ends up with that in the end after it ricochets off of a few sticks from both sides. Danville gonna have numbers if they move quick. Not quite fast enough, but even numbers over to Zalak. Trying to find Hine. Zalak now along the boards. It comes out to Quintos. Quintos holds along the boards as a gaggle of players fight for this one along the far boards. And it eked out before they even knew it was gone. Now coming the other way with it is JT Walters. He's pressured by Patrick Zelak. 8:53 left to go here in the third period. Danville would have been a nice offensive opportunity there, but offside would have been called. Instead, it's Elmira coming the other way with it. This one thrown back into the zone down behind Jesse Gordichuk. Gordichuk over to Murray. Murray passes it forward to Browsen. Back to Murray. Murray coming up the middle now. A shot wide left of the goal there, dumping it down into the zone. Browsen not able to get to this one. Instead, it's going to be Mafuz that gets it first. He passes
nice
it out
pass.
to Essery. Essery has blown a skate about 3 times tonight. Might be time to look for a new pair. This one actually turned over again in the neutral ice here. That's coming the other way with it is Elmira. Shot from the right-hand side. That was a ricochet up off the boards and into a seat. And we're going to have a face-off down here in the defensive zone for Danville after our first media timeout here in the third period. 8:12 left to go here in the final frame. 3-2, and seemingly the life just sucked out of the David S. Palmer Arena right now.
Mafus again campaigning for getting an understanding of why a penalty wasn't called. He's doing a lot of campaigning. Wonder if he's contemplating running for some political office.
New Hampshire election coming up soon from what I hear, although we still don't know the results in Iowa, so maybe not too far ahead of ourselves.
Mafus might be polling a little better than Biden right now up in New Hampshire.
Either way, we're going to get to our third media timeout here in Danville as it's 8:12 left in the third period. Elmira up by a score of 3-2.
hockey and political sarcasm here at the David S. Palmer Arena tonight.
Some final scores from around the league. We've got two final scores. Columbus blew open the gates and won 10-1 in Mentor. Danbury came back and won by a score of 6-4 in Delaware.
Winning 57 ticket number 247 129.
50-50 announced as we see a face-off to the right of Jesse Gordachuk.
Elmira, when they're on the defensive end, Nate, has been playing very, very conservative. 4 guys in front of the net, making it very hard for Danville to get any looks at the net.
Face off here to the right of Gordachuk. It's Gullo that loses out. A nicely played affair there by number 27, Hudson Michaelis. This one played along the ice. Justin Browsen with it. Stumbles, but ends up getting it back. A pass across the boards here to Levi Armstrong. Armstrong forced off of it. Nick Gullo going to try and force himself onto it. Two speedsters fighting it out there, Essery and Gullo. Essery gets the better of him, and Mafuz sends it down the ice. This one going to come back for an icing, though, as we bring it back down to the Elmira side of things.
It's fun watching Levi Armstrong play this game. After a couple of big hits earlier in the game on Cameron Yarwood, that time Yarwood was bailing out from the play, expecting the hit, and it never came.
Danville able to keep this one in the offensive zone, but not for long, as it's going to come out as far as Sam Turner. Turner on it now in the defensive zone for Danville. A sloppy turnover there. It's Mafuz and Essery come the other way with it. Bounces behind the net, and Essery picks it up. Pass out in front. A nice stick there by Barakov is the difference probably between this game being blown open. Jesse Nair doing all he can to get on the other end of this one, and he keeps it in the zone, stretched out fully. If Mafuz gets on the other end of this one, it's a one-on-one by two longtime FPHL vets with Brad Denny.
Nice job.
Mafuz hits the ground as Denny gets a stick in there and hits this one away. Now Danville can come the other way with it. Barakov to Denny. Denny going to have to do some work to keep this one in. He does. It's thrown off the legs of the official there. Wrong place, wrong time as Brad Denny gets this one frozen along the boards. It's Elmira's JT Walters actually holding it there with 6:49 left to go in the third period. Elmira not afraid to kill some time here, that's for sure. Not a bad idea. As coming the other way with it now is Dale Dion. A shot saved out of the air by Jesse Gordachuk.
Nice grab. Great glove save by Jesse Gordachuk. I thought he might have been beat on that shot, but nope. Not with that quick glove hand. And we're running out of time here to get the equalizer down to 6:39, Nate.
And now Quintos coming the other way with it down the left-hand side. With some space, Quintos is taking off the puck there. A nice defensive effort from JT Walters. Playing meaningful minutes late here for Elmira. Quintos on it again here. Trying to pick out a pass as Zalak hits the ground there. Out in front of net, but it ends up okay because it comes out to Dale Dion. Now through the other side to Harrison, who sends it around. It's going to come all the way back around to Dmitro Babenko. Oh, an open net shot there by Harrison, saved by Gordachuk. And Danville going to try and run the other way with it. Not a whole lot of support there. Instead, it comes out to Browsen. Browsen takes it and just barely misses the puck on his way in and comes offside.
And Danville almost ending up with a big opportunity there because Elmira expected to hold the puck, so they started in on a shift change of their defensemen and almost got caught.
Browsen definitely frustrated with himself after that one. Nick Gullo tying this face-off up, and it's back on the Elmira side now. Coming the other way with it is Yarwood. Yarwood sends it behind Gordachuk, who traps it along the boards before it can be grabbed by the offense for Elmira. Browsen coming the other way with it now. A nice move to get past one, and he sends it down the boards. This one going to get as far as Passingham, who sends it back up. It's going to eventually be controlled here by number 57, Cameron Yarwood. It's sent back down the ice, though, behind the official and over to the Dashers side of things. Oh, retreated back here. A nice play by Tyler Urich brings it back on net. Gordachuk with a save. That was a crucial save there on the right-hand side of his own net. as Danville now come the other way with it. Murray on it. Murray with a not nice pass there on the backhand. Instead, a nice forehand pass makes it through. Jesse Nayer going to have to fight for this one. He does just enough to get it off the side there at Brandon Hussey, but Elmira the first ones to it. This one thrown up and down into the close side here of the ice in the Danville defensive zone. A little bit disjointed here, it would appear, from both sides. Nobody really able to get any firm control of the puck. Danville really trying to press here. Fred Hine on it. This one comes all the way out to Mafuz. Mafuz's pass is dumped out, and Turner has his pass redirected out and over the ice.
Danville's starting to take a few more chances, and that's why Elmira's had some of these advantages. But Danville doing a good job of recovering, and then that last line of defense, Jesse Gordichuk, strong enough to keep this at a 1-goal advantage for the visitors.
Danville wins the face-off. A hard slap shot from Quintos was never going to make it through anyone. Too many bodies there. Mark Essery now come the other way with it. He sends it down. It's going to get as far as Sam Turner. Turner off the glass. Quintos going to have to play heads up if he wants a chance at it. Just gets there in time, but turns it over here to Michaelis. Comes around to Yarwood down the right-hand side. Yarwood to Essery. Essery with a shot off the pad of Jesse Gordichuk.
Elmira with 3 guys backs and no chance to get that rebound.
Mark Essery doing his part there in the offensive zone for Elmira to keep this one on the offensive side of things. Now a pass down the ice here to Jesse Nayer is kind of picked off there by Elmira and sent down into the other side by Hudson Michaelis. Danville unable to string together any passes here. 3:50 left to go in the third period. This
nice
one's
pick.
Picked off and it's offside, so it's going to come back, but it was a nicely picked off play by Andrew Harrison. Just offside there was Zach Pease. As we're going to have a face-off here right smack dab in front of us, as we've got 3:46 left to go here in the third period. The score 3-2 in favor of Elmira.
It's getting late early tonight.
It's getting late early with only 3:45 left to go in the third. Danville going to have to act fast. Elmira looking to put this one out of reach. It's Mitch Atkins, the man who played with Elmira, coming down the other end of the ice now. He is stripped there by the Elmira defense, though, and they're going to have numbers coming the other way. As Elmira bringing it down, that was number 14, Zach Pease, who had it. Stripped by the Dashers defense, though. It comes all the way back here to Babenko. Babenko on it, down to the right of Jesse Gordichuk, out to the point here, and thrown around the glass. Atkins the first one to it. He cuts it off before it can go any further. Held onto by Jesse Nayer and flipped down the ice as far as Zach Pease. Pease is touched up by Nayer. Nayer's got it now coming across the blue zone. Out to Hine. Hine over to the right side. Atkins. Atkins is slide tackled there. Oh! And Troy passing him. Came way out of his net for that one. Danville almost had an opportunity.
Elmira defender ended up having to play the net there.
I think I've seen more slide tackles tonight than I have anywhere else, as Brett Menton does a nice 1-2 to keep it in the zone here. He turns it over, though, as Mark Essery almost had an opportunity. Instead comes to Hawgood. Hawgood to Quintos. 2:33 left to go in the third period, and Passingham has it behind the net. Out to Essery. Essery tips it down. It's up off the glass. Going to come down a nicely weighted pass there from Essery as Danville able to get this one. It doesn't go back for an icing. Quintos coming down the left wing now. Quintos dumps it around the ice here. It comes all the way out to Glenn Patterson trying to clear it. And after a minute, Elmira does clear it. Quintos throws this one down the ice again here as Passingham cuts it off and hands it off to his defender.
2 minutes left.
Now coming the other way with it is Elmira, trying to link up there with Kyle Stevens. Jesse Gordichuk hit there, and we're going to have a penalty, and we're going to have a big tough here. Troy Murray actually taking his anger out there. Kyle Stevens was the one. This is a fight, so no problem with it. As they're holding a left hand, as that's Murray with a left, Stevens with a left. Murray got the high ground, a big right hand, a left hand, sneaks into the face of Kyle Stevens. Stevens going against the ice. Murray lands 3-4. Murray takes him to the ground. That's Jesse Gordichuk being defended there.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of teams taking shots. Oh!
Kyle Stevens going to be sent off the ice here.
Yeah, we're inside of the 2 minutes, so no sense keeping him around.
No sense in keeping him on the ice. We'll see if Murray stays on.
Murray's probably going to be heading off too.
Looks like he's in the penalty box as we sit right now. And the door is shut.
Got a big congratulations from Mr. Levi Armstrong. The best brawler on the team, appreciating a good effort by Troy Murray defending his goaltender.
Yeah, and you know, not a whole lot in it, but that's just kind of an example. You got to play by the code, you know. You got to defend your goalie in that situation.
And here he goes to
there
the locker room.
So Kyle
there's no
Stevens and
keeping
Troy
them
Murray
around.
heading off the ice for the night. Makes sense with 1:55 left to go in the third period.
Troy Murray won that fight big time.
And it's good to see both guys kind of instinctively drop the gloves there. They both knew what was going on. There's no doubt about that. And a nice fight there. Both sides getting in a couple of punches. Definitely Troy Murray taking the advantage there. Has a little bit of a length advantage, I would say.
They're both hanging out in the hallway now.
Yeah, they're probably just going to shake hands on that one and go back to their respective locker rooms. That's all you can really think of in that situation. 1:55 left to go here in the third period.
And I do think that Elmira is going to get a penalty here for beating on the goalie. So I think Danville will be on a power play. And Mafus is not happy again, but he's been pretty upset about almost every call tonight.
Dennis, my friend, as you stick around a little bit longer, I think you'll realize that is not a rare occurrence. Usually one team, especially when Mafuz on it, has that kind of guy, but you love to have a guy like that on your team, a guy that'll fight to the tooth for you in every situation, but to play against him gets a little frustrating.
Still John with the official. He's got to be careful. He'll get a penalty for that, for delaying the game here.
Mitch Atkins on the faceoff, wins it for Danville as Fred Hine gives it back to Turner. Jenna Worth power play now in effect as Fred Hine has it on the point. Hine with a shot off the blocker. Rebound open in front of net. Trying to shove it home is Atkins.
I thought he had
What
it.
a play, Troy Passingham.
I thought he was going to be able to elevate and get it past Passingham, but Passingham making a nice stop. Good effort. Little two-man game with Fred Hine and Mitch Atkins, and they almost cash in.
Troy Passingham does nicely to get down and block that one up. We're going to see what this hold is for. It looks like just a slow substitution here as coming off the ice is one of the Elmira Enforcers. Elmira wins that faceoff though and brings it down the other side here. 1:44 left to go in the power play, but only 1:38 left to go in the game. So there's that. A couple of seconds behind, about 4 seconds extra on the power play. Danville going to hold it for the remainder of this period. Whether that'll be the game or not, we will find out. Open in front of net now. Nair with his shot redirected out of play.
And we saw Jesse Gordachuk heading to the bench. It was going to be a 6 skater on 4 advantage for Danville, but this faceoff will send Gordachuk back to his net. But he will be ready to go, and Tyler Quintos will be the extra skater that'll be heading out on the ice for Danville here in the closing minute.
1:24, 1:22 now left to go in the game, and
Here
Danville
comes
wins the
Gordachuk.
faceoff.
Extra skater on is Quintos.
Mitch Atkins out there now as he's got it, passes it around to the crease. This one comes out to the point to Browsen. Browsen over to Turner. Turner almost loses that one. Instead is able to get it to Fred Hine. Hine looking for a pass, elects to send it to no one down there. A shot goes wide left, and it's going to come all the way back down the ice. 1 minute left to go here in the final period of action, or could not be here at the David S. Palmer Arena. Carrying it across is Sam Turner. An excellent one-person opportunity created by Turner out in front to Quintos. Quintos unable to get a stick on it. It's out in a scrum, and it comes back out to the point for Danville. Turner with a shot, and that one comes around. That was Jesse Nair, actually, trying to feed this in front of Passingham. Danville finally connecting here on some passes. Fred Hine, his shot was going up into the corner, but Browsen's foot blocked it. Out to Quintos. Over to Fred Hine. Hine across the slot here. A shot, a pass. Oh! Wide right as this rebound almost buried in. Passingham
18
doing
seconds.
everything he can to keep this one out.
Danville doing a good job of getting back on the attack.
Jesse Nair on the point. And this one actually, I think, went off the head of Mitch Atkins. Is going to come back down. 5 seconds left. Looks like this one's going to be given up, and Elmira is going to take this one, actually. It was sent back down, and time runs out. Danville falls to an Elmira third period goal, 3-2. Troy Passingham with a great job there at the end of keeping it firm and solid, and this one gonna send the Danville Dashers off very quickly because, and you know, why not? A team where aggressions can really rise. This was a close game tonight. Didn't really get all that physical until the end there with a little bit of the chip on Jesse Gordichuk. Now, not sure there was a whole lot in it, but either way, Elmira comes out of Danville, opens the weekend with a win. A 3-2 win here as Danville unable to capitalize in the final 2 minutes on a power play assessed after it was Kyle Stevens sent off the ice for a little check on Jesse Gordichuk in the open ice. Gordichuk played that one. Danville unable to capitalize even with the extra man out on the ice as a couple of shots just went wide right of the goal of Troy Passingham.
Frantic activity in front of that net. 6 skaters on for Danville, pouring on the offensive effort, but just could not get the goal for the equalizer.
Couldn't get it done, and 3-2 will remain the final score here as we have an inter-division matchup, same conference I suppose, as we see the Elmira Enforcers take a 3-2 win. Now the Stars for this one could be very interesting in terms of point totals. In terms of team statistics, we're looking right now at the leading point scorer in the game being a 3-way tie actually on the Elmira side, and then a 4th if you add to that on the Danville side. Obviously Patrick Zelak getting 2 points on the night. The 3 with 2 points for Elmira, Ahmed Mahfouz, Hudson Michaelis, and Cameron Yarwood. Yarwood, the only one of those 3 with a goal. However, Ahmed Mahfouz and Hudson Michaelis with 2 assists. So it'll be interesting to see how this one shakes out. Sounds like Patrick Zelak's going to get the 3rd star. I'm going to go ahead and take a wild guess that Hudson Michaelis is going to be our 2nd star and Cameron Yarwood will be the 1st star on this one.
Cameron Yarwood with a pretty goal deserves it.
And one of the factor in is probably the go-ahead goal here, I would say, in the 3rd period. And of course, that was Cameron Yarwood, who probably will be your 1st star tonight.
Good aggressive play as he had that opportunity. And one of the rare occasions we saw one of the Elmira defenders deep in the offensive zone on the attack. And he did get it to pay off with the winning goal.
A well-played game. You got to think Elmira's happy with how that one turned out. A little bit of early struggles as teams searched out for the rest of their footing, but instead it's Elmira coming out on top here on Country Night at the David S. Palmer Arena. In just a moment, we'll take a look at the scores from around the FPHL. But Dennis, before we move on from this game, want to get your opinion. Now, moving into tomorrow's game, what does Danville have to change up to really kind of change the score line? It's probably going to be a tight game tomorrow, you would assume, no matter what the result is. What do you have to do to be on the winning side of that?
Well, I think Coach Ray is going to want to see a little more offense from his guys. They got shut out in the last 2 periods of hockey tonight. 2-1 lead after 1, and they go home with just 2 goals on the night. Again, the biggest problem hasn't been generating offense. It's been finishing off plays for those goals. And tonight, some sloppy passing by Danville Dashers. They were sort of their own worst enemies there, and it ended up costing them tonight in the end.
Well, looking around the FPHL just before we let you go here, Carolina taking down Watertown at home, actually, by a score of 5-2. Battle Creek dropped a home game to Port Huron 5-2 as well, and a much bigger score difference in the game in Menor, with the Columbus River Dragons beating them 10-1 on the road. And you don't see that kind of drubbing on the road very often.
Ouch.
But Columbus with a heck of a game. We've seen what they can do here firsthand. Now, Danbury winning on the road against Delaware, too, by a score of 6-4. So 4 road teams winning tonight in the FP. Watertown failed to beat Carolina, but you know, that's a lot easier said than done, I would say, to complete that streak. Now, we'll be back here tomorrow night for our beach party night, courtesy of Reggae Wines. Going to be a lot of fun. You're going to want to be here. Another great matchup between the Elmira Enforcers and the Danville Dashers. Well, for Dennis Michelson, I'm Nate Williamson. We will see you all again tomorrow, a 7:05 Central puck drop. Primetime viewing for those of you out on the East Coast. To our friends in Elmira, to our friends in Danville, everywhere in between, both sides of the lateral line. We'll see you again for a Saturday night action.